I mean, now it's time to talk about, I think, your plans. So, Mayor, you mentioned two really big issues that I want to talk about. Obviously, cost of living is the most important issue. New York faces so many issues, but
too many issues.
Too many. But those are most important. And one of them that I am just kind of obsessed with is childcare. I know, gay guys have to childcare. I keep trying to get pregnant, but nothing's working. But you know, after housing, it's the most expensive cost for working families.
$25,000 a year on average.
Why? Indirectly or directly, it impacts all of us. Why is it so important that we solve this crisis?
Yeah. Well, first, I'm talking about this as a dad. My son Marek is here in the room. He doesn't need childcare anymore, thankfully, but hopefully the grandkids will before too long. Hint, hint. No, all right. We're not going to go there. Sorry.
When are you having kids?
All right. Let me tell you this story. So I go to my dentist a little while back, and I got a great dentist, Gowanus Dental. I really recommend in Brooklyn, 3rd Avenue and A Street, Ilya. They're great. The hygienist, she's from Staten Island. She's holding the Novocaine needle. And she's like, controller, I heard that every 3-year-old was supposed to have a childcare seat for free in their community. Yeah. Why am I 140th on the wait list for my program, which was like not the shot of Novocaine I was expecting. And I'm not going back to the dentist until every 3-year-old has the affordable childcare that they were promised. No, exactly.
You can't live with those cavities.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, for young families especially, we got to make housing more affordable for everyone. But if we want to do something quickly, the best thing we can do to keep young families here is to say, look, when your kid is 2 or 3, you will be able to have high quality free childcare. Instead of spending $25,000 a year and stressing all the time, you'll know that that cost is covered, that your kid is safe, and that you can go to work and go pick them up. It would just make a huge difference in making this city feel better for working families.
It's good for the economy. I mean, disposable income could increase up to $1.9 billion due to affordable childcare. But also what's important as a political hack Democrat, if we don't solve people leaving blue states, the Electoral College in 2030, even if Kamala Harris won the blue wall, she wouldn't have won the presidency. Like, we have to keep people in these blue cities. So,
in addition to keeping the grandchildren.
And the grandchildren, You said it. It's on camera now.
All right, we'll go back with the voting. All right, just do it to keep the more people in blue states.
Yeah, right. But now, I mean, speaking on that is housing, and I think all things, something that every New Yorker can agree on is the rent is too damn high. Evergreen statement.
And if you want to actually imagine you could ever own, like, you know, rent is too damn high, and boy, I don't know how many young people in this room think you'll be able to afford to buy a home, but we got to do something about it if we want to keep families here.
No, my plan is there's a gay bar on the Upper East Side I'm going to visit after this and see an old man who maybe wants to be my daddy. Anyway, if you are elected, you said that you want to declare a housing emergency.
Day one,
and it would allow you in accomplishing your goals of building 500,000 homes. Can you kind of go into that plan? Because I think it's really interesting, and it involves golf courses.
So here's some audience participation. Don't answer if you've read the plan. You can answer if you watch that hideous scene of Trump golfing. So the city has some city-owned municipal golf courses in the 5 boroughs. First, like, how many people have ever played golf on one of the city-owned golf courses? Anybody? All right, Marek. 2 people, 3 people. All right. How many municipal city-owned golf courses do you think there are in New York City in the 5 boroughs? 10. 20. All right. 2. All right. And how many do you think we need?
0.
Yeah.
All right. There are 12 municipal golf courses in the 5 boroughs, 2,500 acres in this land-starved city, and there will still be 8 when we take 4 of them and build 50,000 affordable homes in great new neighborhoods for New Yorkers to rent or own. And because the city owns the land, we can make the housing affordable and actually do great parks. You know, most people who live next door to those courses don't get on them anyway.
No.
But now they'll have parks with open space. They could actually take their families, libraries, schools, and 50,000 homes like Co-op City or Penn South. We used to build neighborhoods. Timothy Chalamet, he lived in Mitchell Lama. Did you see that earlier this year? Yeah, that was a big deal. We could do that again for the next generation of working New Yorkers if we decide, okay, there's still time for tea times, but broadly, that housing we need for families more important than saving every one of those golf courses.
No, absolutely. And housing, there are a lot of your opponents have some very ambitious housing plans, but why are you the best person to solve this crisis?
So I've been working in affordable housing my whole life. Before I went into public office, I spent 15 years running 2 nonprofits. I preserved and created tens of thousands of units of affordable housing. In the city council, I was the champion for the Gowanus rezoning. I don't know if anyone's been around the Gowanus Canal, gone to public records, or there's actually the first new grain mill in Brooklyn in 100 years, a lot of affordable artist studios, and 8,000 new homes, 3,000 of them genuinely affordable to low-income and working-class families. And as controller, I've invested in the creation and preservation of more affordable housing, basically than every controller in the past combined.
Wow.
You remember when Signature Bank failed a couple
Yes.
years ago? So that put 35,000 units of rent-stabilized housing at risk.
Wow.
Remember those pension funds I invest?
Yep.
We bought the mortgages on all 35,000 units. Everyone saved, everyone affordable, and 11% returns for our teachers and cops and firefighters.
Wow! Okay. People need to know this more.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's why you're here. You're welcome. Look, so I think, the Democratic Party is in a very bad place for a lot of reasons. One of them is that visibly the states and cities that Democrats govern look chaotic, whether we can debate over that crime is technically down, whatever, but homelessness, it's a very visible issue. You have an ambitious plan, and I was wondering, so basically, you want to end street homelessness for people with serious mental illness with a
Doesn't
housing...
everyone?
Yeah, doesn't everyone? Yeah. Magister said no. With a Housing First program, what is that program and how exactly do you implement it?
Yeah. So this is the #1 promise of my campaign, to end street homelessness for people with serious mental illness in New York City. We do not have to be a city where a couple thousand of our mentally ill neighbors sleep on subway platforms and the stoops of our building. And here's how you know we can do it. So today, there's about 2,000 people with serious mental illness who are sleeping on the streets and subways. Meanwhile, tonight, there are 2,500 vacant supportive housing on single-room occupancy units, but they're not eligible because we require them, Mayor Adams requires them, to go to shelter first. And a lot of people have had bad experiences in shelter, so they say, I'm just gonna stay on the streets. But remember in the pandemic when we gave people rooms in hotels instead of in congregate shelters, and they went to them in great numbers. When you offer people from the street that SRO, that supportive housing unit, with services, they stay stably housed 70 to 90% of the time. They're doing this in Houston and Denver and Salt Lake City. It works. It'll work here. We used it to end veterans homelessness 15 years ago.
Right.
Takes a mayor to manage it, a real coordinated continuum of care to stop people from falling through the tracks. But the key is getting people housing from the street into those supportive housing units. It will work here. We can end street homelessness for people with serious mental illness, and we'll have a safer city and a more humane one.
Yes, I think absolutely it's brilliant. And I just, there's this on that topic, and the New York Times just released an article about working people who live in shelters. These people that make $40,000, $50,000, maybe $60,000 a year. They work on our airports, our restaurants, and they live in shelters. So this is not just people who are mentally ill or homeless. And I think often when Democrats propose big proposals, they're labeled as socialists. What do you say to the more moderate New York voter who, again, may be looking at Andrew Cuomo, who maybe you were the Working Families Party endorsed you and 3 other people, who may be looking at them and like, I don't know if I can vote for one of those, quote, progressives. What do you say to them?
Well, first, everybody I've talked to wants to end street homelessness and out of a city where mentally ill folks are sleeping on the streets and subways. Everyone knows the rent is too damn high and wants somebody that's got a track record getting affordable housing built. Definitely everyone wants government run honestly. They're sick and tired of corruption, and they're tired of Eric Adams' corruption. It takes a minute to remind them about Andrew Cuomo's corruption.
Yes. People forget. It's amazing. 3 years go by.
The pandemic really erased a lot of things from our memory.
Oh my God.
And it seems like it erased the fact that this is a guy that sexually harassed 13 women. Now, did you know he's using $60 million of our taxpayer money to fight against the exact women that he sexually harassed? Not just defending himself, he issued subpoenas for their gynecology and therapy records. he has too many issues. That's what I'm saying.
So many issues not invited
Sent
to this
all
show.
those seniors to their deaths in nursing homes and then lied about it to protect his $5 million book deal. Like, this is an abuser.
Right.
Who wants to work for him? He ran Andy Byford out of town. It's who's just in it for himself.
Right.
Like, it's a corrupt, contemptible human.
Yeah,
I
no.
really believe that New Yorkers are going to remember that as the election starts to take place. No one started putting ads up or spending money. So yeah, if you want like honest, effective leadership, little nerdy like Ali's glasses, I need to get those and kind of wear them, and just deliver a safer, more affordable, and better run city.
Look, I think we need to elect more workhorses and show horses. Unfortunately, this country doesn't seem to be doing that. But
Let's start a trend.
Let's try. That's why I can't run, because I'm too.